When it comes to the hospitality business, running a hotel isn't just about clean sheets and a comfy bed, it's about leadership, customer care, and the ability to run a well-oiled machine. And nobody knows how to put that to the test better than Gordon Ramsay. Known worldwide for his sharp tongue, high standards, and relentless pursuit of excellence, Ramsay has walked into dozens of hotels across America, pulling back the curtain on the problems that owners try to hide. But time and time again, when hotel owners pushed back with arrogance, excuses, or sheer stubbornness, Ramsay had no choice but to check them with a dose of brutal honesty. These 10 moments highlight not just Ramsay's fiery personality, but also his passion for rescuing businesses on the brink of collapse. From dirty rooms to inflated egos, these hotel owners found themselves face to face with a man who wasn't about to sugarcoat reality. The Desert Retreat Disaster. In the heart of Arizona, Ramsay walked into what was supposed to be a peaceful desert retreat. The brochures promised tranquility, luxury, and breathtaking views. But upon arrival, Gordon quickly noticed that the rooms hadn't been dusted in weeks. Spiderwebs hung in corners, the bathrooms smelled damp, and the once white linens had faded into a shade of yellow no guest would dare sleep on. The owner, Frank, brushed it off, insisting guests didn't come for the rooms, they came for the vibe. Ramsay wasn't impressed. "Frank," he snapped, pulling back a stained bedsheet, "this isn't a vibe, it's a health hazard." Frank tried laughing it off, but Ramsay checked him hard. "You're charging people for relaxation, and what you're giving them is stress. Clean your hotel before it becomes a desert graveyard for your business." The silence in the room said it all. Frank had been humbled. The New England in ego. In a picturesque New England town, a charming inn sat at the edge of a lake. Locals adored the property's history, but the current owners, a husband and wife duo named Patrick and Melissa, were running it into the ground. Instead of focusing on the guest experience, Patrick bragged endlessly about his genius management skills. When Ramsay toured the kitchen, he found expired ingredients stacked in the fridge. Moldy cheese, wilting vegetables, and sauces that smelled like vinegar instead of seasoning. "This isn't food," Ramsay barked. "This is poison." Patrick, puffing his chest, argued, "I've been running this inn for 10 years. I know what I'm doing." That's when Ramsay leaned in and checked him. "If you knew what you were doing, Patrick, your rooms wouldn't be empty and your fridge wouldn't look like a science experiment gone wrong. 10 years of bad habits doesn't make you experienced, it makes you careless." Melissa's silence showed she knew Gordon was right. The Miami Beach Mayhem. In sunny Miami, Ramsay encountered a boutique hotel that should have been a hotspot for tourists. Instead, the lobby smelled of mildew, and the staff looked exhausted. The owner, Veronica, strutted around in designer outfits, boasting about how much money she had invested. But Ramsay wasn't dazzled by her wardrobe. He inspected the rooms and found hair in the bathtubs, lipstick stains on pillowcases, and half-finished renovation projects that had been abandoned. When he confronted Veronica, she waved her hand and said, "Guests don't notice these little things." Ramsay's eyes narrowed. "Veronica, guests notice everything. They notice when they're paying for paradise and sleeping in filth. You're treating this hotel like your closet, not a business." His words hit hard, and Veronica finally dropped the defensive smirk, realizing her pride was hurting more than helping. The Midwest Motel Mess. In Kansas, Ramsay checked into a roadside motel that claimed to be America's coziest stay. The neon sign outside buzzed with broken lights, and the first room Gordon entered reeked of cigarette smoke. When he pulled back the bedspread, he found burn holes in the fabric. The owner, Bill, greeted him with a grin, insisting, "It's just character. People like the rustic feel." Ramsay looked around at the peeling wallpaper and broken furniture before checking him bluntly. "Bill, there's rustic, and then there's reckless. This isn't character, it's chaos. Would you let your family sleep here?" Bill didn't answer. He couldn't. And for once, his confident grin faded away. The California Coast Catastrophe. On the Golden Coast of California, Ramsay arrived at what was supposed to be a luxury beachside hotel. The view was stunning, but the operation inside was anything but. Guests had complained about slow service, dirty pools, and rude management. The owner, David, insisted the guests were exaggerating. "They're just spoiled," he said dismissively. Ramsay raised an eyebrow and brought David to the lobby, where real guests were airing their frustrations. One woman complained about mold in her bathroom, another about cockroaches in the hall. Still, David refused to take responsibility. That's when Ramsay raised his voice. Spoiled guests? They're paying customers. You've turned paradise into a nightmare, and the only spoiled thing here is your attitude. The crowd of guests clapped in agreement, leaving David red-faced and speechless. The Rocky Mountain Resort Wreck. Nestled in Colorado's breathtaking mountains was a resort that claimed to offer peace and wellness. But Ramsay found the spa equipment broken, the hot tub cloudy with grime, and the restaurant serving frozen dinners instead of fresh food. The owner, Susan, blamed the staff for being lazy. But Ramsay quickly turned the mirror back on her. Lazy, he repeated. Your staff is demoralized because you're absent. You're hiding in your office while your guests soak in dirty water. Don't blame them, blame yourself. Susan looked stunned. No one had spoken to her like that before. But Ramsay's check wasn't just harsh, it was true. The Texas Ranch Rumble. In Texas, Ramsay visited a ranch-style hotel that marketed itself as authentic cowboy living. The lobby had animal heads mounted on the walls and saddles as decor, but the rooms told a different story. Dust coated the furniture, and the so-called authentic meals were just reheated frozen burgers. The owner, Carl, wore a cowboy hat and swaggered around like a movie star. When Ramsay confronted him about the food, Carl boasted, "Guests don't come for the food, they come for me." Ramsay didn't hesitate. "Carl, you're not the attraction here. They come for the experience, and you've turned it into a joke. Take the hat off and get to work." The staff couldn't help but chuckle, and Carl finally realized his ego was the problem. The Vegas Illusion. Las Vegas is known for glitz and glamour, but one struggling hotel was all smoke and mirrors. The lobby sparkled with chandeliers, but upstairs, the rooms were filthy. Ramsay found a bathroom that hadn't been scrubbed in weeks, complete with grime around the sink and mold on the tiles. The owner, Tony, prided himself on being a showman. "It's all about the first impression," he argued. But Ramsay wasn't having it. "Tony, your first impression might dazzle, but the second your guests open a door upstairs, the illusion shatters. A chandelier won't distract from bedbugs." The guests' complaints confirmed Ramsay's words. Tony, usually the life of the party, was left quietly nodding. The Chicago City Shame. In the bustling heart of Chicago, a boutique hotel claimed to be cutting edge.